What's going on? '05 Chrysler 5.7. I'm gonna replace the water pump housing. I got a new thermostat in the garage, and we're gonna replace the bottom radiator hose as well, because I'm pretty sure it's leaking, and if I'm there, might as well anyway. All right, let's have at it. The first thing I'm going to do is remove this radiator hose and let some coolant drip out of it, and then I'm going to get the serpentine belt off. Now I'm going to remove this hose, this metal coolant hose that comes into the water pump right here, and it goes under the intake manifold and hooks up back here to that line right there. I think it's probably the heater core, but this is a 10 mil right here. I'm gonna unloosen this, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, quite a bit of bolts around the perimeter of the water pump we'll get, but I'm gonna pull this guy out first, try to unloosen this little connection right here. All right, and make sure you label the bolts, because obviously one's longer than the other and you don't want to mess it up. So I'm gonna just use the new water pump right now. So this long one was at the top, this one was next over. I'm just gonna place them all around here and then swap them over. Just try to keep label your bolts where they came from, so you put them back in the same spot. I'm going to take the tensioner off now so I can get around the rest of the bolts. That's a 15 mil. I really can't get a lot of leverage on it, so I'm going to double wrench it, a little bit more leverage on it. And there we go. Yeah. Keep at it with around the bolts. I think that was a 15 mil, and the bolts around the water pump so far have been 1/2 inch. And this idler pulley, there's like a cap on the front that needs to come off, and there's either an Allen key or a bolt behind there, but I'm gonna try to pop that off. Yeah, it looks like a Torx bit. I'll grab that and let you know. Yeah, it's a Torx 50 in the center of the idler pulley right there. So I'm gonna have at that. I will say this hose right here that comes under the intake manifold and goes into the top of the water pump right here. This thing is just a pain in the ass to get out. What I ended up doing was throwing this top bolt back in to leave it tight against the engine block, and I pried up right here, along with using another pry bar in the front right here. And you have to be super careful because this thing is so brittle, and you know, you snap this thing or puncture a hole in it, you know, even more of a pain. So take your time with it. I didn't have any WD-40 or PB Blaster at the moment. That probably would have helped, but I definitely recommend spraying that with something and definitely cleaning it up before you reinstall it. But yeah, just be gentle prying with it, because it is not fun. I'm going to clean this surface up with a razor blade, try and get this old gasket area down a little bit more. But you can see on the old water pump, it was getting by this gasket right here and filling this area up with coolant, and that's where I found the leak. It really wasn't leaking out the weep hole or anything like that, but I noticed it was leaking around here and at the top area too. Probably a gasket failure or something, but either way it was leaking. So yeah, and I'm gonna change out, well, I have one, but this new thermostat housing is disgusting. So yeah, we're gonna use the new one. All right, I got that all cleaned up. I got the new gasket installed on the new pump, and I swapped the bolts over to the old pump. So again, I know where they go. So let's get that thing thrown in here and hope for the best. And I noticed this just needs to be pushed in around the perimeter. So I'm not gonna add any RTV because I don't have any, but I don't know. This gasket seems a lot higher. You can see how it, you know, and that one was basically gone, so that's most likely why it was leaking. But all right, see ya. All right, I got all the bolts in around. I just looked up the torque specs. I think it was like 21 foot-pounds. So I guess be gentle putting those on. You don't want to strip them out. And I'm gonna shove that in there. So that's in there now. So yeah, I'm gonna torque those down and keep putting everything together. Okay, all back together. Got the belt on. I could not get this clamp onto this over the new housing and over the hose, so use a worm clamp instead. Those things are just, it was just fighting and fighting with it. I'm over it, so there it can stay. Got it all hooked back up. I gotta call it quits for tonight. I forgot to grab antifreeze, so I'll grab some coolant in the morning and we'll do a cold start on it and see if anything leaks. Hopefully everything is good at this point until something else breaks. We'll pick back up in the morning. All right, just dumped some coolant in it. I know I'm gonna have to keep at it while it's running, but here's the cold start on it. I hope y'all like my setup. Key there, push button up here. So far, so good, no leaks. Cool.